Hi guys, how's it going? Caitlin here, and welcome to my kitchen for another week of meal prep. I hope you're excited for this week. On the menu, we have kimchi burgers, sweet and tangy chicken thighs, and sheet pan chicken fajitas. So trying to keep a very easy prep this week. If that sounds good to you, and you don't have your plan yet, check the description in the video. You'll find a link there where you can grab your grocery list, prep list, all of the fun things to help you put this together and make it as easy as possible, okay? There are 3 varying levels of prep based on your level of motivation or possibly your time constraints. However, if you do want to get the time to table results you see in the meal plan, you're going to want to go all the way with me to level 3, okay? Sounds good to you? Sounds good to me? I'm going to start with some things in level 3, okay? So first off, I'm going to cook some bacon. Now, if you want to make it easy, you can use ready-cooked bacon if you're feeling it, or I like to cook mine just in the oven on a sheet pan. I do tend to cook extra just because bacon never goes to waste in my house. It's a thing. So, if you want to make extra, you can. If you want to like cook some and then freeze some for later, or if you want to cook all of it and freeze some for later and just take it out and, you know, cook some more as need be. Plenty of options. I always figure if I'm going to be doing something, I may as well do more and just have it last. So this week I did say I'm trying to do very easy meal prep. And the reason for that is I have been having not such a good week, which I feel like anybody who has chronic health conditions or chronic pain conditions or whatnot will understand. Sometimes you have a flare of something, but unfortunately, what you cannot do is do nothing. You know, we can take a little bit of rest, try to do what we can, but ultimately, still gonna get some food on the table at some point. So that is why I am trying for a very easy prep this week and easy meals to throw together. So if I seem a little slower than usual, a little shakier than usual, a little more brain not working than usual, there are reasons for that. Okay. So if you've never cooked bacon on a bar pan before, I just have a stone bar pan that I cook mine on. It can overlap a little bit. I try not to have it overlap too much. Oh crap. There we go. Got that going. Okay, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cook some rice. One of the things, if you're feeling like crap, that is kind of nice to do is to have some easy side dishes ready to go. Okay, so gonna be making a little more of these things than I need to have, because if I'm still feeling like crap, it means that I can just reheat some rice or make a quick salad. Just do the stuff that still gonna keep things moving, still gonna keep things going. People are going to be fed, but it takes the pressure off of those days, okay? Here we go. So I'm doing my rice in the microwave. Once again, it's hands off, nice and easy. And some weeks definitely need easy. Okay, going back to level 1 now. So, because now those things, they're doing themselves when we're doing other things and we're gaining back time that day. So now if you want to, you can trim your green beans. I am just using a bag of frozen green beans. There's no shame in that game, okay? So that's what I'm doing so that I'm not trimming anything. I wasn't gonna get fresh. It was not looking that great at the store. However, if you ever want to feel better about getting frozen produce, if the produce is not in season, you're actually going to do just as well having frozen as you would doing fresh, even though it seems like fresh would hypothetically be better. The reason for that is that frozen produce, they're processing that when the food is in season, and then it is flash frozen to preserve it. It makes sense that when they're having, their bumper crop, that they're freezing the stuff for sale. It makes it cheaper for production and everything. But that also means that when you're getting frozen produce, you're probably actually getting more nutrients from it in an off season than you are from the fresh that you are finding at the store, just since it has less distance to go, it's just all around easier. So you are getting it closer to fresh status that way. Fun facts. Also in off seasons, it can save you a lot of money getting frozen produce instead. Now, there can be some downsides. I know some produce, it feels like it ends up with like extra watery and stuff. Or maybe I found this when I'm doing, chopping lettuce. You only need like some for the burgers, but like I said, I'm prepping some stuff so that I have things to carry me through while I'm feeling like crap. So I just chopped up all the lettuce. That way I have instant built side dishes. I can just grab a handful of lettuce, I can throw it on the plate, I can put a few veggies on top of it, and then it is ready, okay? So that's gonna make my week significantly easier, okay? Nice little trick, right? So you get rice for a side dish, you got salad for a side dish, because yes, you do gotta have protein with your meal, but you gotta have something on the side too, and that can be where meals start to fall apart if you're dealing with chronic conditions, fatigue. If you're not dealing with any of those things, awesome. But you know what? Sometimes it's just nice to have the stuff prepped anyway, even if you're feeling like on top of the world and you just also just have a busy week. So, I'm gonna slice up 3 peppers for sheet pan fajitas. And then I am going to dice up a couple more just to have for my side salads as well, because this is my moment, this is my time, right? The more that you can get prepped during this time, the better. Okay. So, I am not trusting my knife skills very much today because I am a little shaky. This contraption right here is called a quick slice. Sometimes these little things, these little tools that seem so gimmicky can actually be an absolute lifesaver when you are not feeling your best. So this will slice things like peppers very efficiently. Mushrooms, fruit. And then I don't have to worry about my shaky hands and a sharp knife, because all it takes is that little minute of inattention and you can find yourself in a not so comfortable place, which that just compounds to the not feeling wonderful. All right, so there's some peppers. Now, I still have a couple more peppers, so I'm going to dice these ones up, and then they're going to be ready to go for salads. So I can use the same quick slice to dice. I'm just going to put it in 2 different ways, which I'll show you. My dog's yelling at me. I gotta let her in. Why is that pretty girl? One of those days where it like looks really pretty outside, so she wants to go outside, but then it's actually still kind of cold, so that she wants to come back inside. So I put it in one time to slice it one way, and then I just lay them all down on it again, slice it the other way. And then you end up with these perfect little dices. Funny, like when I'm feeling 100%, sometimes when I have my kitchen gadgets, I'm like, are they worth it to have all the gadgets? Then you find yourself in a bad spot and you're like, yeah, you know what? Yeah. Like, they might seem like they're kind of almost lazy or unnecessary sometimes. And then other times, I'm like, well, these make things possible for me that would not feel possible otherwise. Here we go. So now I have some nice, healthy salad ingredients. I'm going to cut up some cucumber for the exact same reason. So when I cut my cucumber in advance, I try to like stack them together like that because I find they retain more moisture that way. They don't dry out quite as quick. So there we go. I got salad toppings ready to go. What else? I'm gonna wedge myself red onion. Now, if you're wondering why I'm wedging the red onion instead of slicing the red onion, because I don't know about you, but I like when my veggies match. I like when they're all the same shape when they're going into something, especially if it's onion and peppers for some reason. They're supposed to match. Maybe you're not that insane, but I am. However, for the sheet pan fajitas, it lets it all cook about the same time. If I have my onion sliced all the way, then it's actually going to cook a lot faster, a little too fast, and I'm not going to get the results that I want. Okay, so there we go, one wedged onion. Now let's see. I want to have some garlic to go with the fajitas as well. Now the garlic, I'm going to press it, but I'm going to be using a few tablespoons of oil with the fajitas as well. So to make this easier, you can't just, garlic can actually get kind of dangerous if it's processed in certain ways. So if you're going to process garlic in advance, you actually want to make sure that you have it covered in oil. So since I'm using oil with the fajitas, I'm just going to coat my garlic in oil, and then it's just gonna all go together. Then I know I'm safe, my family is safe, and it's nice and easy to throw together. Less thought involved. So who wants to think too much? There's the oil and the garlic. I want to make sure I have all of the garlic into the oil. I don't want to risk any health issues. There we go. Oh man, that bacon smells good. Okay. That is it for level 1. So that gets you a whole bunch of stuff prepped there, okay? I'm going to put together some spicy mayo for kimchi burgers. If you are not into kimchi or you don't want to try kimchi, or people in your house will not eat kimchi, don't worry about kimchi burgers. It's just a suggestion for making it a little more fun, adding some different flavor that you might not have in your regularly scheduled diet. We have this thing because, well, obviously my whole house is gluten-free. But we have this bad habit as if we don't have something planned for dinner, what we end up eating is like chicken, usually chicken thighs or chicken legs with some kind of seasoning on them. and go. Some kind of seasoning on them, and roasted veggies and roasted potatoes on the side. And that's what we end up eating kind of on repeat. And it's boring. It is like literally the most boring thing that you could ever ask to eat over and over and over again. So, swapping things up, like maybe we might be doing burgers some night, but our burgers would usually just have, you know, ketchup and mustard and mayo and some pickles or something like that on it. And that's it. So, doing something like kimchi burgers, doing the exact same things. It's not unfamiliar prep territory. I'm still having, you know, burgers. Gonna make chicken marinade. So still doing burgers, still doing something that's familiar, just adding some different flavor to it. Because I normally wouldn't have a chili mayo on it, or I wouldn't have kimchi on my burger, or whatever. Some oil. There we go. You can use any type of oil you like. My preference for like everything is avocado. It's a healthy oil. So use some gluten-free soy sauce, or I use coconut aminos. There's less ingredients in coconut aminos than you get in soy sauce. Also, I am unable to eat soy personally, so you might get a little less flavor from coconut aminos, but not much, and it's a lot less salt and really like almost no ingredients. Like, what's in this? Coconut nectar, coconut blossom sap, and sea salt. That is it, 3 ingredients. Compare that to a side of even the best soy sauce, and I don't think there's any comparison. Okay. Now we're cooking, not baking, so you can ish this. That looks good. And what else? Need some honey in there. If you want to, you can use brown sugar, you can use coconut sugar. I've got maple sugar I'm gonna use. Finish it. So I like to make my marinade inside of the same bag that I'm going to marinate in. It doesn't have to be used right away, but then I know it's in the right container already, and that's less dishes for me. I love these orange marinating bags. Like, we use them all summer when we're camping and stuff like that as well. Okay, so if you have not tried the sweet and tangy chicken thighs yet, it's like seriously one of my husband's favorite meals. He saw it on this week's meal plan and he's like, so you're doubling that, right? Which I didn't, maybe I should have, but I mean, doubling is never a bad thing either. Why not? Plan for leftovers, especially if it's something you know you love. There we go. And now I am going to grate some cheese up for the fajitas. Because you know what? I'll be happy when it's done. So if you want to have a little bit extra, maybe to go on your side salads or something like that, you most certainly can. You're already, got the grater out and you're already grating. Doing a little bit extra is reasonable. My kids never actually will eat the fajita put together like a fajita. They always do it as like bits and pieces. So, it's like I'll do the stuff up and I'll put it on rice for them because that's my best chance of success with them, is throwing it on rice and fine chopping the protein. But then the cheese has to be on the side because they don't like it when it's melted. Unless it's melted onto pizza. Like, kids are so weird. But the nice thing is that if you're planning in advance for things, you can plan on the quirks, right? You know that kids aren't gonna want things put all together because they're kids. I'm gonna give that bacon just a little bit longer. All right, now we're on to level 3. Now pretty much everything is done for level 3. We got 2 minutes left on our rice. All we gotta do is slice up some chicken. And then everything is going to be all set. So that's nice. It's one of those things. It's a little bit of work now, but this is going to make the rest of this week so much more manageable. Some weeks that matters more than others. This is one of those weeks. And if you're wondering why the heck I'm doing this now and why I'm not just, waiting a little bit, honestly, I've taken the last 2 weeks of resting and I'm feeling better than I was, so I'm feeling much more capable. I was not able to do much for a couple weeks, which unfortunately coincided with March break. such a shame because it's like one of those times where, you know, you want to be able to take advantage of all of the things, and I just had to give myself a little bit of grace. Which isn't always easy to do. We're our own worst critics. Anybody else would be like, yeah, take it easy, relax, you gotta take care of yourself and your health first. And if you're somebody who does deal with anything chronically, you're like, no, if I just sat down and did nothing whenever I wasn't feeling it, nothing would ever happen. So kind of, you gotta prioritize a little bit. My prioritizing, it looks like my house has been blown up by a bomb. It looks ridiculous. If you came over right now, I'd invite you to come, welcome to my hovel, and just push those things out of the way. Come have a seat. But eating seems important. And you want to eat well too, because that's one of the things that you know is going to bring you back around and have you feeling better, is some proper nutrients. There we go. Chicken all ready to go. And that's it, guys. That is everything. That is everything prepared, everything ready to go. Weekend is going to be so much easier. I hope you guys enjoyed the meals this week. I hope it makes your week nice and easy. And I hope to see you again next week. Bye-bye.